Whatever you do, don't watch the new SML video that's just uploaded. It's not a joke. The video is making people do things. This is my story. Please make sure this gets uploaded. Let's start at the beginning. It's Saturday morning, and I hear a notification coming from my phone. When I go to check it, I see that it's a video from Super Mario Logan. That was something I expected, since Chili uploaded a vlog just yesterday called, "Should we upload this new SML video? We need your help." It was a standard video from Chili. It opened with Chili saying, "What's up everyone? Welcome to the vlog." The rest of the video was Logan and Chili contemplating over whether or not they should upload a new SML video they made. It seemed like they wanted to upload it, but were afraid YouTube would take it down. I guess they decided to upload it anyway. When I looked at the title of the video in my notifications, it said, "Jeffy Normal Day." It was a mistake Logan made before, so I wasn't immediately off-put by it. What threw me off was the thumbnail. It was just a picture of a grassy hill, but tinted purple. However, when the video started, it was just like a normal SML video. Bowser Jr. and Jeffy were playing a game of catch. Jeffy throws the ball at Jr., and Jr. does the same with Jeffy. When Jr. throws it, it hits Jeffy in the head, and he starts crying. That's when something weird happened. The video suddenly froze, and I couldn't interact with it in any way. I then closed out of YouTube and reopened it. The video was back with the proper title, SML Movie, Jeffy's Normal Day. I clicked on the video, and the video started off the same, but there was something terribly different. Instead of throwing a ball, Jeffy and Jr. were throwing a butcher knife at each other. Instead of Jeffy getting hit in the head, he gets stabbed right in the middle of his head. There was blood spewing from the cut in his eyes and mouth. I managed to grab a screenshot before he left the frame. Jr. screamed and quickly went inside. He went to tell Mario about Jeffy, and Mario ran outside as fast as he could. But when he made it to the backyard, Jeffy was gone. No trace of him being stabbed. Not even one drop of blood on the ground. The video froze again, but after about 3 seconds, the video completely restarted. This time, it was nothing like the last 2 iterations. It appeared that the camera was just laying on Logan's bedside table in his bedroom. It was like that for about 1 minute. Then Logan came in with the Junior plush and picked the camera up. I realized the camera was picking up the events before the video began. Logan held the Junior plush in front of the camera as if he knew the camera was filming. The plush was completely ripped up, almost as if it was stabbed multiple times. It was also completely stained red. Then there was an abrupt knock at the door, and Logan put the camera back on his table along with the Junior plush. In the background, I could hear him opening his front door, followed by a screeching voice that sounded a lot like Jeffy. I heard a gunshot, then a huge thump, along with the camera shaking violently. Blood pooled in from where the front door was, and Jeffy came into the scene with a pistol in his hand. It looked like he still had the wound from the knife. Lance was very clearly holding him, and there was blood coming from where his hand was, almost as if he was stabbed in the hand along with Jeffy. He didn't notice the camera at first during that segment. There was some camera glitching after Jeffy finally saw the camera, and the video restarted once again. It was the exact same scene from the second iteration, but Junior was nowhere to be seen. The scene cut to Jeffy, but he didn't have any reactions. He wasn't even moving. The camera panned down, and Junior's mangled corpse came into view. He was brutally murdered, presumably by Jeffy. The video cut to static, and it finally ended. I was shocked by the video Logan had uploaded. It was almost like a snuff film. I tried to forget about it by turning on my TV. Just after turning it on, it cut to a breaking news segment. The segment was about how a mass murder took place in Florida. I thought of it as a coincidence, since Logan lives in Florida. The news said it was then spreading to the surrounding states, and that there was no way to stop it. They said that they were going to show a clip of the killer in action, but for some reason, the video was complete TV static. I don't know if this was a mistake, but it sure was creepy. As of writing this, there have been no recent incidents in my state. I sure hope it stays that way. August 29th, 2019, 7:59 p.m. What happened? Where is everyone? 8:11 p.m. I feel like someone is watching me, I'm sure. 8:23 p.m. I see something in my backyard. Is it real? Or am I losing my fucking mind? 8:24 p.m. I just heard a knock at my door. I don't want to die. 8:25 p.m. Oh no, he's here. 8:26 p.m. Oh, it was a nightmare. It was a nightmare. Okay, I I watched Nickelodeon from the 90s to get this nightmare out of my head. You know, if you're a person who doesn't like creepy videos, don't watch it. I'm warning you, it'll give you nightmares. Do not watch the new SML video. Don't watch it. I never should have watched I'm Sorry, Chef Pee-Pee. September 27th, 2017. Chili released a new vlog titled Junior's Birthday Bash, our biggest production yet. A new SML video was in the works. She claimed it would be another Bowser Jr.'s birthday video. She leaked some early behind the scenes footage indicating that the video would be more than the usual SML movies. September 29th, a notification for a new SML video popped up on my phone. I got excited, thinking this would be the big birthday video that Chili talked about. I was immediately caught off guard by the cryptic title, SML movie, I'm Sorry, Chef Pee-Pee. My mind began racing with thoughts. Was this not the birthday video? Did they schedule the wrong video? Is this an early Halloween special? And then I noticed the thumbnail, which had high contrast, and I could see Junior's sad face in the preview. I noticed Chef Pee-Pee in the corner, who blended into the background. I could barely view his facial features. Despite all the red flags, I still played the video and saw what happened. The video opened at night. Junior was playing football in the house with Jeffy, while Chef Pee-Pee was cooking something disgusting, as always. When I cut back to Junior and Jeffy playing football, Junior went in for a tackle, and Jeffy hit the ball extremely hard. The kick was high enough and strong enough to break part of the ceiling. A chunk of the ceiling smashed Chef Pee-Pee directly in the face and knocked him unconscious, and it destroyed his face. Pieces of his face splattered against the stovetop. There was a giant hole where Chef Pee-Pee's face was. There was even a little skull surrounding what looked like to be ground beef inside the face hole. The scene was gruesome, but I could tell it was just some impressive special effects. It was an SML movie. After all, I'd gotten used to seeing plenty of fake blood in these videos. Anyway, Junior was terrified of the fact that he might have killed Chef Pee-Pee, but he knew a trick. Junior tried to make Chef Pee-Pee a new face by getting some Play-Doh and using glue and tape to fix his face. There's a lighthearted little montage of Junior fixing his face with cutesy music. When Junior finished the Play-Doh face, he went to present it to Jeffy to get his approval. They went to put the new face on Chef Pee-Pee, whose flesh looked like it had slightly rotted. I thought it was crazy attention to detail having Chef Pee-Pee's destroyed face actually age somehow. After the face was successfully in place, Junior was waiting for Chef Pee-Pee to be alive. The shot was held on Chef Pee-Pee's body for an eerily long time, around 13 seconds. I finally got the feeling that something was up. I know it sounds ridiculous when I say it this far into the video, but at this point, I'd gotten used to the gruesome nature of some of Logan's videos. I figured this video was just another one of those videos, like The Gun or Cody the Magician. However, some strange artistic liberties in the video didn't seem like Logan's style. I already mentioned Chef Pee-Pee's slowly rotting flesh, and the weird 10-second pause seemed too much like an artsy move, if that makes sense. Regardless, the video played on. The scene cuts to the red couch with Junior and Jeffy sitting. Junior lamented about the fact that he killed Chef Pee-Pee, to which Jeffy corrected him by saying that he was the one who killed him. I settled down after this joke, thinking the video was back to being good old SML. I was sorely mistaken. The scene went on with Junior and Jeffy discussing where to hide his body, but before Junior could finish a sentence, the video made a smash cut to Chef Pee-Pee's still rotting body in the kitchen for about 3 to 4 seconds. After that, it continued like normal, and then, as Jeffy was discussing one of his ideas, there was another hard cut to the body. It was extremely unlike Logan's style of editing. His videos were usually much more fast-paced than this. Before I continued this thought, I noticed something. The scene was slightly different from the previous one. I saw an eyeball where none had been before. A new face was growing under his old one. Chef Pee-Pee wasn't dead. He was reconstructing. Jeffy and Junior remained unaware of this, and the scene continued like this for a couple of minutes till Chef Pee-Pee's face grew. Then he got up and went out of frame. Jeffy and Junior then settled on a plan, and they went to leave the room. They immediately stopped as the camera panned around to Chef Pee-Pee with his grotesque new face in the light for both of them to see. It was horrifying. It almost looked like human skin, but it looked mixed with the same fabric used on the puppet. It was a deep brown color, almost red. and it was excreting a thick, dark red liquid from Chef Pee-Pee's mouth, and his eyes were bloodshot. His pupils almost filled with what was visible through his sockets. Something else of note here is there was no music to accompany the scene, which left only Junior's whimpering to be the only thing I could hear. The next scene was Chef Pee-Pee's point of view, and it looked very distorted and warbly. He seemed to target Jeffy first. The scene cuts to Jeffy's POV, in which Chef Pee-Pee opens his mouth wide enough to tear the skin around his mouth. The inside of his mouth was somewhat human, but there was no teeth or tongue. The blood seemed to cover every inch of his mouth. Chef Pee-Pee suddenly lunged towards Jeffy, completely covering his head and eating it. The video cut back to Junior, who watched on in horror. The sound had completely cut out, so I didn't know if he was saying anything. Despite this, I still kept watching. Chef Pee-Pee had eaten Jeffy's head and promptly took notice of Junior. Junior made a run for it, running down the stairs and hiding inside a cabinet in the kitchen. This scene was rather intense, as it made rapid cuts to a close-up of Chef Pee-Pee's new face and Junior panicking inside the cabinet. At this point, the audio came back somewhat. It was Junior panting inside the cabinet as grotesque noises came from outside. There was another cut, now in Junior's point of view. The cabinet door in front of him had opened, slowly revealing Chef Pee-Pee's new face in clear view of the camera. After this scene, it cut to a new angle in which Chef Pee-Pee is in the foreground. Chef Pee-Pee violently grabbed Junior and dug into his chest, pulling out several of his organs in the process. I was too in shock at this point to realize that Junior wasn't even supposed to have organs. The video continued as Junior screamed out in a gurgled voice, "I'm sorry, Chef Pee-Pee. I'm sorry." Chef Pee-Pee then left the scene, leaving Junior to slowly die as he continued to scream, with each attempt slowly getting quieter and more pitiful. The camera lingered on his body for about 3 minutes before it cut out to a black screen for a few more seconds. There was no SML question and no plea to subscribe. The video just ended. As expected, the video disappeared for violating YouTube's community guidelines. There was no thought to archive the video, likely because the contents were shocking. I talked with my friends about the video immediately after I finished it, and they were just as dumbfounded as I was. Minutes later, the video that Chili had teased, Bowser Jr.'s 9th birthday, was released instead. It was just an ordinary birthday video, nothing like what we saw in the vlog. I looked in the comments, and no one noticed the horrific events before it. When I went to view the vlog, which had mentioned more production for the video, it disappeared. Nobody seemed to remember the tease video either. I'm sure other people will tell a similar story, but I watched this video and I still remember it. You will answer us, Logan. Behind the secret door lies horrors Marvin and Rose never expected. But what if I told you there's even more dark SML videos you didn't know about? Jeffy's Parents explores the dark themes of child abandonment, abuse, and the flaws in the foster care system. The episode opens with Jeffy's biological mother, Nancy, arriving to reclaim him after abandoning him at Mario's doorstep a year prior. Through flashbacks, we see the heartbreaking scene of Nancy callously leaving young Jeffy, calling him ugly, stupid, and a waste of time.
I don't love you. You're ugly and you're stupid and you waste my time. So go, get out of here.
The episode shines a light on the tragic reality many children face, being unwanted and mistreated by their own parents. Nancy's sole motivation for getting Jeffy back is the $1 million inheritance left to him by his deceased father. She physically abuses Jeffy, denying him food and beating him when he tries to escape her cruelty.
I'm hungry.
What did you just say?
I'm hungry.
What did I tell you about being hungry? You wait till next week when the check comes in. You've been a bad boy. You don't get to eat this week.
Mario's initial reluctance to intervene, even witnessing the abuse firsthand, mirrors the hesitation many feel in reporting suspected mistreatment. The episode ends in Nancy's arrest and Mario's decision to formally adopt Jeffy, having grown to care for him.
I'm sorry, give me that one more time.
I guess I'll adopt him.
Oh, okay, you'll adopt him.
This ending offers a hopeful message that even the most neglected children can find loving homes. Throughout the video, Jeffy's Parents forces the viewer to confront the grim realities of child abuse and the dire need for better protections for society's most vulnerable. It reminds us to look inwards and know that we have a responsibility to speak up for those who cannot advocate for themselves. While Jeffy's Parents has a heartfelt message to it, Junior's 8th birthday is just dark and creepy. This episode takes place at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, which if you live under a rock, it's based on Chuck E. Cheese. And Chuck E. Cheese is fun. However, the facade of a children's birthday party quickly dissolves into a very real horror story. One by one, the other characters at the birthday party disappear, leaving behind only gruesome traces hinting at their fates. Chef Pee-Pee and Cody's shirts are found in animatronics' mouths, and a pot filled with blood and body parts. It's a slow burn into madness as Junior fails to fully grasp the gravity of the situation. The video serves as a dark satire of the creepy animatronics trope that was popularized by Five Nights at Freddy's. But more than that, it taps into the childhood fear of being separated from one's parents or guardians in an unfamiliar place. Think about it. We've all lost our mom in a Walmart. What happens when they're really gone? The adults that are meant to supervise and protect the children are gone, leaving the kids vulnerable. In the haunting final scene, the animatronics close in on Junior as they all sing happy birthday. Which really leaves you with a profound sense of unease and dread. You have to stop and think, this is an SML video. It's not a horror channel. But when you look under the surface of this video, it is pretty dark. But we all know that Five Nights at Freddy's is scary. That's no surprise. But what about when a character we actually love finally snaps? Evil Chef Pee-Pee is a morality tale wrapped in a supernatural horror story. The basis of the plot revolves around Junior accidentally killing Chef Pee-Pee by hitting with a frozen water balloon.
Chef Pee-Pee, you just got water balloons!
Then enlisting the help of the devil to resurrect him. However, Chef Pee-Pee returns with a murderous, evil persona.
Chef Pee-Pee, you're alive!
On a surface level, the video is a straightforward, be careful what you wish for, and actions have consequences narrative. Junior's resurrection of Chef Pee-Pee, which he did only so he could avoid blame for it, not because he actually missed Chef Pee-Pee or felt bad, obviously backfires. Chef Pee-Pee becomes an unstoppable force of anger, malice, and hatred, who poisons Junior's food, destroys his toys, and even kills Bowser and a cop.
Doesn't have to be this way,
Jeffy,
right?
put the gun down!
You can all just go home alive.
But on a deeper level, evil Chef Pee-Pee serves as a metaphor that our own actions have consequences, and we must accept responsibility. And this is shown by Craig the Devil's eventual reveal that Chef Pee-Pee's evil return was an elaborate ruse just to teach Junior a lesson, which is ironic since it came from the devil.
Pee-Pee, you can calm down.
Wait, what? What's going on?
Well, you see, kid, I did this to teach you a lesson. Because you killed Chef Pee-Pee, I made him evil to teach you that there are consequences for your actions.
The video suggests that attempting to cheat fate or avoid consequences, especially through supernatural means, will only lead to suffering. Junior's tearful realization that he wants to undo the damage and make amends shows his growth as a character, something that we do not see in recent SML videos, which is why this is the golden age of SML. Only by confronting his mistakes head on can Junior hope to make things right. At the end, everything is back to normal, but us as the viewer are felt a little weird. What if someone we loved finally snapped? What if they crossed that line between good and evil? The road to hell is often paved with good intentions, and sometimes the only way to learn a lesson is to face the evil head on. No intros needed for the next video. You know it's dark, and if you don't, buckle up because this is about to get scary. The secret door stands out as perhaps the most viscerally disturbing SML video. Video starts out like a normal SML video. You know, Mario, Rosalina, all having fun with Jeffy, and they decide to play a game of hide and seek. Little did they know, horror was waiting right behind the door. Jeffy goes to hide, and he finds the secret door, and he goes to hide in it. It is then revealed that the room is full of mutilated bodies, which is a gut punch made even more unsettling because all of the dead bodies are previous tenants murdered in the house. We then come to learn that Brooklyn Guy is actually an imposter. He is Does Bad Things Guy, which really makes us think about every single interaction that they have had with Brooklyn Guy over the past couple months. Who was that? Was that the evil guy? Was that Brooklyn Guy? We don't know. Really makes you kind of anxious about all the previous videos. Continuing, the video becomes a tense don't breathe scenario as Mario and Rosalina, captured by this crazy Does Bad Things guy, can only watch in terror as he gleefully dismembers all of his prior victims and threatens to add Mario, Rosalina, and Jeffy to his collection. Remember, this is SML, not a horror channel. This is a pretty messed up video. On a deeper level, the secret door preys on the fear of the unknown lurking within the familiar. The idea that a killer could be hiding in one's own home, just out of sight, is very creepy. It shatters the illusion of safety and forces the viewer to second guess literally everything. You ever checked behind your door before because you thought there was someone hiding there? Yeah, that's exactly the type of emotion that this video is hitting on. More disturbingly, it suggests a staggering level of ignorance, that a person could be living alongside such an evil person without knowing. And it really makes you think about Does Bad Things Guy's manipulation tactics, where his whole hiding in plain sight works. Who knows? Right now, is that the real Brooklyn guy that we're watching in 2024 SML? Or is it Does Bad Things Guy? I guess only us as the viewer continuing to watch can find out. We've covered the secret door and a few other darker SML videos. But what if I told you there's even more darker videos out there, with some even worse than the secret door? Let's dive into it. Before we begin, make sure to like the video as it allows me to make more of these theory videos, and make sure to subscribe as well. Junior's lightsaber. On the surface, this video starts off as usual, with Junior excitedly playing with a new lightsaber toy.
Okay guys, it's ringing. It's ringing. Shh, be quiet, be quiet. Shh. Is this the guy that sells lightsabers on the TV?
However, things take a shockingly dark turn when Junior accidentally slices off Chef Pee-Pee's arm during a play fight, leading to a very graphic dismemberment scene, one that we're not really used to in the SML series. It's a moment of surprising violence that really stands out from the series' usual slapstick humor. The image of Chef Pee-Pee screaming in agony, his severed arm spraying blood everywhere, is genuinely horrifying. It's not something I expected from an SML video. What's even more jarring is how the episode ends on such a somber, serious note, with Junior facing the grim consequences of his actions. There's no wacky scheme or easy resolution or, hey, it's all better now. Just a heavy sense of guilt and loss of innocence. It's a very bleak direction for an SML video to take, as usually everything is funny or normal or happy at the end of the videos. You know, I really do admire the risks taken here from like a storytelling perspective. I think it's cool to explore darker themes. I do worry that I watched this when I was 12 years old though. I don't think I should have watched that at 12. I don't think any of us probably understood it, but we kind of understand it now. The gun. From the very beginning, the presence of a real gun in an SML video is a weird departure from usual prop comedy, as we often see guns portrayed as Nerf pistols. Immediately creates a weird sense of unease, knowing that it's dangerous and people could be shot. And it implies a bigger danger that is existing in the world. And that danger is explored in a very brutal, realistic detail, with characters suffering very gruesome injuries and even dying from irresponsible gun usage. It's a very different shift from the normal laughy, happy, get silly stuff that we see in the SML series. You know, we're seeing all these characters who are children and like Jeffy, and they're put in such a traumatic, life-threatening situation. It kind of makes you say, what the heck am I watching? The heaviness of the fear, guilt, and loss they experience is not something I'm used to in an SML video. You know, compared to a regular SML video, there's a sense of seriousness and actual stakes that could get lost in this video. Normally, every other SML video, there is no stakes, but in this, there is, which can kind of make you feel a bit, what's going on? Mario's turtle puppet. In this video, Mario shockingly resorts to animal cruelty as a means to cope with his deep-seated rivalry with Bowser, in which he kills an innocent turtle in a misguided act of revenge. It's a very dark display of Mario's anger issues. And Rosalina's heartbroken reaction to find that the turtle is dead is kind of upsetting, and adds a layer of emotional devastation that I'm not used to seeing in a comedic puppet show. These are puppets, guys. There's an actual portrayal of grief and horror and pain in this video that you don't really see in other SML videos.
Break it!
And this episode never really condemns Mario's actions. Instead has him double down on his reckless impulses by buying a pet monkey. which only leads to more chaos. It kind of shows that Marvin is an irresponsible adult figure, and it really makes you question Mario's morals and mental stability. It explores more into Mario's character, that maybe he's mean-spirited, and you know, it's a dark representation of Mario's psyche, and one that I'm not sure if I should be watching when I was that young.
I died! Yes! Yeah, he's dying! Yes!
Chef Pee Pee Quits Part 2. The second episode of this series is a shockingly grounded in exploring the very real adult issues of workplace burnout, emotional turmoil, and feeling undervalued in a seemingly dead-end job. It's really heavy stuff to see a puppet cartoon talk about. But it's interesting because as a kid, you don't think about any of this stuff. But when you reach that age of around 25-ish years old, you start to really feel these emotions and start to understand where Chef Pee Pee is coming from. We dive deep into Chef Pee Pee's mind to understand that he is distressed and he does not like the jobs that he's doing. And while Chef Pee Pee is normally comical, funny, and kind of like crazy, here we more see him in pain. It's definitely a more mature subject matter and talking about mental health struggles that we're not used to seeing in an SML video. There's a raw honesty that this arc Chef Pee Pee goes through that I'm sure many young, burnt out adults and maybe older teenagers are already connected with. I can imagine someone in high school or in college dealing with the burnout of working so hard at school, not knowing if it's gonna pay off, really connecting with this episode. But I think this may have gone over the heads of younger viewers, but maybe not. Let me know down in the comments if you understood. The Dead Body. Well, they definitely chose a very blunt title for this one. Right off the bat, we're centering an entire video around a dead body, which is already dark. And we're putting Mario and Jeffy as a murderer. So let's dive in. Don't do the so's, like cut out any so stuff like that. Oddly enough, I think this video is a really good example of dark comedy. It uses a lot of dark themes, but portrays them in a very funny way that isn't too edgy, but it's still like, oh, okay, that's kind of funny. We go from like hiding the corpse to covering up the crime, and it's presented with this really pitch black sense of humor that feels like something an older teenager or adult would vibe with. Throughout the video, there's a sense of paranoia and dread as Mario and Jeffy attempt to avoid getting caught. It's got more of a psychological thriller tone to it than a regular, Family Guy humor comedy video, because the stakes are very much real and severe. But then we have Jeffy continuing to act as his normal cartoon self, who keeps almost getting Marvin caught.
Okay, ma'am, tell me what happened.
They killed a guy! He hit him with a car and then they chopped him up into little pieces!
Whoa, they killed somebody?
No, she doesn't know what she's talking about.
You kind of put on edge on the video when you're watching it. I think this video is a good example of a narrative that succeeds in subverting expectations and maintaining tension throughout, something that we don't see in a ton of SML videos. I really respect the boldness of this creative decision. Even as it's kind of different than SML, I think there could be a lot of cool videos they can explore in the future that are a little bit more heavier in a theme, but they use the comedy there.
Oh, hey kid, could you open this ketchup bottle for me?
Open the ketchup?
Yeah.
Oh, I know how to open the ketchup. Let me see it.
So he's alive?
No, Daddy, he's a zombie.
Hey!
Hey, cheeseburger man.
No.
But then again, I don't know if YouTube would let them do that. I'm not the creator here, but I think it's a cool thing to explore and I'm happy it exists. I just can't believe I watched all these as a kid and didn't realize how dark they are. Did I miss any dark SML videos? Let me know down in the comments below. What is your favorite dark SML video? And watch more of my dark SML videos on screen now. I never should have watched the lost SML movie, The Black Couch. If you like SML creepypastas, make sure to like and subscribe. So, SML movie, The Black Couch. This is something that I've wanted to talk about for quite a while. And I want to share this issue so you guys won't have to stumble upon this SML movie either. So, it was about a month ago, as I said. I was at a house with my friend named Gordon. While I joined the SML fan base in 2018, Gordon has been a fan since 2012, which was just 3 years before the end of the golden age. Gordon told me that he had a friend and that his friend was an archivist at heart. Gordon was an old fan who also really liked Jeffy, so he managed to stay throughout the dark times of Super Mario Logan. Gordon's friend named George supposedly downloaded a copy of a lost SML video and let us have it. Gordon originally had a YouTube channel where he gave people SML videos to watch before they were made fully public. He pirated the video files so people could watch the videos earlier. We received a copy of a lost SML video from George after Gordon's YouTube channel got terminated for pirating said videos. This video was supposed to be a copy of the original full-length Super Mario Logan movie. For those who don't know about the Super Mario Logan drama, Logan had been promising to release an official SML movie for over a year, in which he had constantly delayed it up until the point where it was permanently cancelled. When August of 2018 rolled around, there was no point in waiting. We had just received the copy of the movie and we were eager to watch it. We would be the first to witness the official SML movie. Gordon and I had a sleepover at his house and decided to watch the video file for the first time. However, when we saw it, it wasn't the official full-length SML movie. It was an SML video titled The Black Couch. Gordon and I were both really confused. We expected to watch a copy of the official SML movie early, but instead, we got a regular SML video that was approximately 22 minutes and 17 seconds long, titled The Black Couch. The file had its own custom thumbnail, which I can only guess was the thumbnail of what was originally the video on YouTube, but it wasn't like a thumbnail you'd expect to see on the SML channel. The usual bold text was rather thin and dreary looking. The background was a dark field, and the only other thing on the thumbnail was Mario. But this was no ordinary Mario. All of the color on the thumbnail was removed. Even Mario. Mario had no eyes, which were replaced with bleeding holes in his skull. You could see his ribs through his shirt, and his arms were held down in a way that made him look depressed. Gordon didn't want to watch, but I convinced him that we had to because for all we know, it could just be a troll. Or it could be the actual movie. So we clicked on the video file and began watching. The video started off with Mario and Jeffy on the red couch, like most modern SML videos. And, like most videos, began with the two yelling at each other. Jeffy makes a somewhat valid point, and Mario shoots it down anyways. Then, Jeffy gets mad, pulls a catapult from the garage, and proceeds to shoot the couch into the air with the catapult. The couch then landed in the ocean nearby. Of course, Mario then starts to get mad at Jeffy even more. Jeffy then starts swearing. At this point, we were both wondering what anything in the episode had to do with the title and thumbnail. But then again, we were both 1 minute and 20 seconds in. So now that I think about it, we shouldn't expect much so far. In the next scene, we see Mario at the furniture store looking for a new couch, since the old one is practically gone. A guy working at the store says there's a perfect couch for the family that's Mario's size. He then takes him into the back where we see a black sectional sofa that can fit everyone and pretty much anybody else. We then get a scene with every SML character you can imagine sitting on the couch. Mario, Rosalina, Jeffy, Shrek, Woody, Toad, Joseph, Cody, Bowser Jr., Chef Pee-Pee. All of them are sitting on the couch. Mario and Rosalina congratulate Jeffy for considering that without him, they wouldn't have gotten such an awesome new couch. You can tell that when Bowser Jr. gets the urge to get up and make tacos at 4 a.m. Now this is weird, but I guess this was meant to be funny, so I took it as a joke. Bowser Jr. goes into Mario's room and asks him if he can eat tacos at 4 a.m. Mario tells Bowser Jr. that they don't even have tacos, and that Bowser Jr. shouldn't even be in the scene because they're both played by Logan, which I took as a joke on how Logan's the cameraman and he voices both Mario and Bowser Jr. I believed another person was holding the camera, possibly Lance, Poovy, or God knows who, while Logan voiced the two characters at the same time. So, Bowser Jr. decides to go into the kitchen and make tacos anyway. While he's making them, he gets dizzy and faints out of nowhere. We get 30 seconds of a blurry camera zooming in on Junior while a high-pitched tone plays. Then, silence for a solid 10 seconds. Junior wakes up, turns his head. We see something me and Gordon could never unsee. It was a dead woman, possibly a puppet, lying right in front of him. Her face was pale, her eyes and mouth were wide open, and blood was oozing out of her almost toothless mouth. I had no words or thoughts. I felt like I had gone lightheaded from fear watching this video. The camera only focused on the woman for a few seconds before Junior got scared and runs to his room. That's when we saw the woman, awoke from the dead, standing in front of his door and slowly walked towards him. Junior runs to the couch and sees the shadow of the zombified woman slowly approaching from the hallway. He then tries to bury himself in between the couch cushions in an attempt to make it until the morning. But then he gets pulled in by something. Then we hear a crunch as he's flailing around in the couch cushions as his muffled screams soon fade. This is the last time that we see Junior in this episode alive. We then get the next scene, which takes place the morning after Junior's death. It's a scene of a picture hanging on a telephone pole. It was a picture of Bowser Jr. with text in all capitals saying, "Missing." This was unsettling considering that we, the audience, both knew and didn't know what happened to him. Mario, Black Yoshi, and even Sheila, who's Bowser's wife who conveniently made a comeback in this video, go to look for Junior. Alas, they did not find him. Later that night, we see Jeffy sleeping when he hears a strange noise coming from the hallway. Jeffy, stupidly enough, goes to see what the noises are. He goes into the living room and sees the noises are coming from the black couch. He sticks his head in the couch cushions and asks, "Oh hey, Mr. Weird Noises, what doing?" For 10 seconds, we hear a weird humming noise coming from the couch. Then, a bloody mangled hand reaches for Jeffy and pulls him into the couch. We then see Jeffy wake up in a field similar to the other one in the thumbnail. Creepy field with scarce trees and no color. Next sound for about 20 seconds is the sound of wind rustling through the trees. Even Jeffy is discolored, but he was appearing to be expressionless. Then the scene changes as this mysterious world dissolves around him, and Jeffy is now inside a dark void. He hears a slight noise with a shriek, as well as a creepy child's laugh, and turns around. What he sees next is even scarier than before. What the camera was focusing on was a dead creature. Its body and bones were so mangled that neither me nor Gordon could tell what kind of creature it even was. Suddenly, it lifts its head and slowly stares into the camera. His eyes catch fire and brightens his face, and he says in a slow, the creature's eyes catch fire and brighten its face. They said in a slow and creepy voice, "Wanna see my pencil?" This is when the video now takes a very gruesome turn. He began to scream in panic, but it was not the normal scream we've heard so many times before. This is a scream of true fear, panic, confusion, and loneliness. You can hear the panic in Jeffy's voice as he tries to escape. The figure behind him rises up to about 7 feet tall. Most of the mangled meat and muscle falls off its body as it raises its hands into the air and gives some kind of ancient chant. Suddenly, out of nowhere, weapons start to fly around the void as 2 axes slice Jeffy's body, creating a massive X of blood across his stomach. Just then, a bloody butcher knife flies around the slowly dying Jeffy, goes above him, and then slams into his head. We watch Jeffy's corpse slowly bleed out for over a minute as the camera slowly zooms out, so slowly that you can barely even notice the camera zooming out. It was now the next day. There is now a missing poster for Jeffy hanging over where Bowser Jr.'s used to be. Mario then gets a knock at the door. When he opens it, he sees Mr. Goodman standing there. Goodman says that he might know how to save Jeffy and Jr. because he secretly installed security cameras in Mario's house because he wants to make sure Mario's working on getting money for his house payment. They check the security tapes, and surely enough, they see Jr. getting pulled into the couch. They then fast forward to the next night and see the same thing happen to Jeffy. Goodman says that he then has to leave because he's being called by the police for all the money he stole from people. But when we see Goodman leave, the camera quickly zooms in on Mario's face. We then see Mario tying a rope around his body as Rosalina lowers him in to save Jeffy and Jr. "Be careful, Mario," she says. "We are all counting on you." Suddenly, the police burst into Mario's house and run upstairs, telling Mario that he can't go into the couch and that they've been trying to destroy the couch for 3 years, but they haven't been able to find it. Mario then pulls out a gun and aims at the police officer, telling them that he needs to save Jeffy and Jr. Rosalina pulls out a gun and aims it at Mario, saying that he can't resort to violence, which is pretty ironic considering that he's pointing a gun at him. Suddenly, Bowser pulls out a gun and aims it at Sheila, saying that he will kill her if they don't get Junior out of there. This is Jeffy Theory now talking. Where did they get the guns? I'm reading this. Why do they have guns? This is ridiculous. All right, back to the story. Kind of weird because since when did Bowser care about Junior's safety? Yet alone enough to kill his own wife, even if he hated her. Eventually, Chef Pee Pee grabs a shotgun and points it at Mario, telling him that his cooking was better than him. Eventually, every character in the scene has a pistol pointed at one another. There were a few seconds of silence until Mario says I would rather die than have those kids be stained there forever. Brooklyn Guy takes this quite literally as he shoots Mario, as every character fires their pistol, killing one another. We then see a screen pop up saying, 3 hours later. It's late at night, all of the lights in the house are out. Mario wakes up and crawls away. Every character from the scene from the shooting, Rosalina, Brooklyn Guy, the cop, the other cop, Bowser's Sheila, and everyone else are all dead. Mario hears a creepy wailing noise as he stumbles to his feet and runs to a dark room in his house. Mario then falls back down to the ground, and Mario came to the conclusion that the couch might be a portal for demons to enter the real world. This makes sense because people were trying to destroy it. Suddenly, a door in the room he was in swung wide open. It was the forbidden door from the SML video, the secret door. Mario is scared because of the traumatizing events that happened in there, but decides to wait out the spirits in the secret room until the morning. He crawled into the room as the door swung shut behind him. It's pitch black in the secret room, except for the faint outline of Mario's half-dead body crawling through the room. Suddenly, there's a sound of thunder as a shadowy figure fades in and stares at Mario for a split second. It then fades away, only to reappear a couple seconds later, but fades away again. It's the same creepy Mario-like figure with no eyes in the thumbnail, except that this was happening behind the real Mario, so you couldn't see it. Then it goes through the process of appearing and disappearing a couple more times. So we then get one more shot of Mario's point of view. He looks up and sees a shocking sight. The camera cut to a dark shot of Jeffy and Junior's bodies hanging on the wall. Of course, they didn't do this to themselves. Whatever or whoever killed them must have put them like that to anger Mario. Then we see a flash of lightning as the creature from the thumbnail appears out of nowhere in front of Mario's face and screams a high-pitched scream. That's where the episode ended. Then the SML question popped up, but it didn't say anything special. It wasn't even a question. It was just a black screen with no music saying, SML question, you're next. There was no caption at the bottom saying that the funniest comment wins a free video game or anything. After me and Gordon shut the laptop down and I was about to go home, I went into the hallway and saw blood splatters on the wall and shroud-covered puppet bodies on the floor. Just then, the puppets began to speak on their own, telling me to save myself. I didn't know if I was hallucinating or I just had schizophrenia, and I just didn't know yet. But I knew I was hallucinating as I felt the warmth of the blood on the walls when I touched it. I picked up one of the puppets' bodies as it started flailing around in my hand. I saw a rifle on the floor, so I picked it up and I went into the kitchen expecting a homicidal intruder. But instead, I saw something shocking. It was the dead creature from the black void in the video. It raised its head and asked me in a slow and deep voice, "Want to watch an SML video with me?" That was the last thing I saw before I blacked out. Ever since then, I never went back to Gordon's house. If you haven't realized it by now, this is obviously a creepypasta, and this was not the greatest one. No hate to the author. I don't know, comments, what do you think about this? I couldn't stop laughing during it. But anyways, if you want more readings of good creepypastas, bad SML creepypastas, comment them down below. Make sure to subscribe and watch more of my videos on screen now. Do not watch SML movie Junior's Rampage. I'm warning you now before it's too late. But if you're still here, like and subscribe, and let's begin. A memory forever remains ingrained in my mind. I remember it just like it happened yesterday, though many would say it's just a nightmare or something like that. It felt too real to be a nightmare. This incident happened on April 14th, 2024. I went onto the SML channel to see if a new video was uploaded yet. Due to my disappointment with the previous video, I was more so looking forward to a video that wasn't a part of the kindergarten series. Thankfully, a video was uploaded seconds prior to me clicking on the page, although it kind of threw me off. It was a video by the name of SML Movie Junior's Rampage. It appears as if it was uploaded only seconds prior to me opening the SML channel page. The thumbnail showed Junior looking crazy while he's holding a cleaver, and it showed Joseph and Cody looking horrified, while Penelope, something wasn't right with her. The thumbnail seemed so gloomy, contrasted, off-putting. Being the curious teenager I am, I clicked on the video, and that'd be a decision I'd regret for the rest of my life. The video starts off with Junior, Joseph, and Penelope sitting on the couch. Cody was running late for their hangout, so Junior and Joseph spoke amongst themselves. A minute of filler later, there's a knock on the door. Junior offers to go get it, and so he does. But Cody doesn't seem like himself when Junior opens the door, seeming more gloomy than he usually is. And the music in the background slowed, an eerie melody which lets you know that something was off. When Junior asks Cody what happened, Cody tells him that Timmy dumped him, causing Junior to laugh. He tells Cody that the two's relationship was weird anyhow. Cody stares in silence before laughing alongside Junior, agreeing with him before the two head inside. Once inside, the group begins to ponder as to what to do. Cody then breaks the silence, bringing attention to his newest invention, a metal box with a red button. I couldn't help but feel a sense of dread, which was very uncommon when it came to SML of all things. I felt like something bad was going to happen, and I wasn't wrong. Cody wanted Penelope specifically to test the device, so that its abilities remained a surprise for all to see. And after a few moments of filler, Penelope presses the button. This is when the video takes a dark turn. After pressing the button, the device explodes. Penelope's arm rips off her body as a piece of her face caves in due to the blast. Her glasses fall to the ground, and Junior and Joseph just stare at the scene in horror. It took a few moments before Junior ran over, beginning to sob as he held his girlfriend. Cody laughed. His explanation was one that was simple, yet twisted. He couldn't have Timmy, so he wanted Junior back. And obviously, he couldn't date Junior unless he got rid of the main obstacle. Junior, hearing this, was reasonably angered by Cody. His PTSD kicked in due to his time at military school and the fact that his girlfriend's corpse was now in his arms. Junior finally snaps. He gets up and tackles Cody, punching him straight in the face over and over with full force. Blood leaks from Cody's face as his glasses break, yelling at Junior to stop as blows were inflicted. After a few minutes of Junior beating the shit out of Cody, he stops, although he wasn't done with his former friend. Dragging Cody by his hair to the staircase, he throws him down before walking down himself. Cody was in tears, an extreme amount of pain, but Junior didn't care anymore. Dragging the nerd once more, Junior heads into the kitchen, messing with the stove's buttons as Cody soon realized what was going on. He pleads and pleads to no avail as Junior opens the stove door and shoves Cody's head in. Cody's final screams were heard as his face melted in the oven. This went on for another minute or two before the screams finally stopped. Junior stared down at the corpse of his former best friend, heart pounding as he grabbed a cleaver. He had another person he had to deal with. Joseph was stuck in a trance, terrified due to the events which had just occurred. He stared down at Penelope's lifeless body, his heart pounding, until it didn't. The cleaver would impale through his chest, causing a quick death to the poor kid. Joseph then flopped down onto his stomach beside what used to be Penelope. Junior stood over the two, tears swelling in his eyes as he gazed at the two people whom he was close with. It seemed like he didn't want to kill Joseph. The words he said while he glanced down at the two proved my point. "I'm sorry, Joseph. I didn't want to kill you. I just didn't want you living with the fact that two of your best friends ended up being murderers." At this point, I was tearing up, not just due to the fact that I was terrified, but also because I just felt bad for the characters for the first time in a long while. To my dismay, the episode was still not over. Chef Pee-Pee comes into view, groaning. He seems to have just woken up from a nap as he walks over to the door of the room Junior and his deceased friends were in. The chef immediately screams in horror, bringing attention to Junior, who wasted no time in tackling him and knocking him out with an object that laid nearby. That's when I lost consciousness. When I woke up, I was in the SML household. I rubbed my eyes, pinched myself. This had to be a nightmare of sorts. It just had to be. Not even a few seconds later, I heard Chef Pee-Pee screams, his pleas and cries. Junior! I quietly made my way up to the stairs, noticing the corpses of Joseph and Penelope in the game room. Just like in the video, that's when I looked at myself. I wasn't in my body. Instead, I was inhabiting a Logan puppet. But at the time, that was the least of my concerns. Walking over to Junior's room, the door was cracked slightly. Junior hushed Chef Pee-Pee as he spoke in whispers. And that's when I realized Chef Pee-Pee was nailed to the wall by his hands. Accidentally pushing the door open further, I alerted Junior, which led to the horrific sight that still hasn't left my mind. Junior immediately decapitated Chef Pee-Pee with his cleaver, and he ran towards me. Everything was going dark by the time his cleaver had made contact with my body. Waking up at my desk, I felt groggy. My computer had shut down, so I immediately turned it back on. When I headed back to the SML channel so I could grab the video link and show my friends, the video wasn't there. In its place was a new video called SML Movie, The Power Outage. I searched up the video in YouTube's search bar to see if anyone had made a reaction or a re-upload, but no, there wasn't one single trace of of this video. Halloween's coming up soon. If you want to hear more SML scary stories, make sure you like this video, subscribe, and watch the other scary stories I've done on screen now.